I'd like you to look around the people to your right, your left, in front of you, behind you. Take a look around at the people that are seated around you. They're pretty good looking, aren't they? Do they look like you at all? Do you see any differences? Perhaps in their skin tone that's different than yours, or perhaps their eyes. Perhaps you heard an accent, different language. Do you think the wise men looked like Mary and Joseph? They came from afar. They came from a different country. Perhaps they looked a little different. Their skin tone, perhaps their eyes, perhaps their language for sure, perhaps their food and drink. Surely their gifts were different. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Did anybody receive those gifts for Christmas? Maybe some gold. Maybe somebody here received a little gold jewelry or something. And if you did, it was probably because someone loves you. And they give you that gift because of their love for you. Jesus received that gift because the symbol of his royalty. And frankincense because of his holiness. And myrrh because of the suffering and death that he would endure for us. Different gifts, different people, but it's the same manger. That's it. That's Epiphany. That's the church. That's us. Are people still coming to the manger from near or from afar? Well, from near here in Visalia, we have our RCIA program for people coming to the Catholic faith from no particular faith religion or none, or another faith tradition. And they come to the Catholic Church through this formation. In fact, where's Rod? Rod here. We congratulate Rod, a new Catholic of just a few weeks ago. God bless you, Rod. How's it going? Very good. He's from near because he lives here. Now we might have from afar. Do we have any people who are recent arrivals in Visalia? Anybody here today? Right here. Where are you from, ma'am?
Coming from Los Angeles area.
From Los Angeles.
Originally from South America, from Ecuador.
From Ecuador. Pues bienvenido. Wow. From Ecuador, Visalia. How did you land in Visalia from Ecuador? Holy cow. Anyway, very good. And so we have an immigrant. Okay. Are we have any more immigrants here? Do we have any descendants of immigrants here? Everybody should be raising your hand. Everybody. Very good. All are welcome. From the east, from the west, from the south, from the north. Joseph, Mary, and Jesus as the Savior of the world himself were immigrants, and they were not welcome. They did not find a place. And welcoming isn't always easy work, is it? There's barriers of culture. We have to overcome a barrier of language. Listen to what Pope Francis says. I prefer a church which is bruised, hurting, and dirty because it's been out there on the streets, rather than a church which is unhealthy from being confined and from clinging to its own security. For those of us who've been around Visalia for a long time, we know that Visalia is not the little town that we grew up in from yesteryear. Let's see who's been around a while. I suppose no one's here who was here when there was only one Catholic church in the whole area, huh? And it was in a stable. I don't think so, ma'am. That's from the 1800s. I wouldn't raise your hand yet. Giving yourself away, ma'am. Very good. How many here remember when Mooney Boulevard was only 2 lanes? Yeah, you're old. You're old. With time, of course, there was sprung up St. Thomas and Goshen and Holy Family. And of course, just a few years ago, right here, St. Charles. How many remember when there was only 2 high schools? That's a little more recent. Me too. When I was here, there was only 2. There was Redwood and then the other one. More than likely, Visalia won't be the same either for your children and your grandchildren. Our community here at Visalia has welcomed newly arrived, including those not of the same look, the same preference, the same orientation, the same economic status, language, and culture. Even in my own family, on my mother's side, my great-grandparents arrived in Visalia via Kansas, via Canada. And when they arrived, my great-grandfather spoke some English, but spoke mostly French. And so the priest at the time gave him the nickname of Frenchie, and it stuck. And on my father's side, my grandparents, I have my relatives here, my cousins here, and their grandfather too, and my grandfather, arrived from the great country we know as Oklahoma. They spoke English, kind of, you know, y'all. My brother priest tell me I have to redneckinize that I have Okie blood in me. So it is. God reveals His saving power to all nations. That's what Epiphany is. Christ in the Epiphany is shattering all exclusivity. The idea of us and them, the idea of belonging and infidel. Each nation, for sure, has its right to enforce immigration laws, protect its citizens. But Epiphany reminds us the church has no borders. Its doors are open to all. The human family. A human family like you and like me, composed of sinners in need of God's saving grace. Epiphany in this year of mercy is a day to remember the Bethlehem manger doors were wide open. Next week, the doors of the Catholic Church of Visalia, St. Charles, St. Mary, St. Thomas, Holy Family, will be symbolically replaced with a gate. The gate of the Good Shepherd. This gate has been given and entrusted to us by our shepherd, Bishop Ochoa. It will be our faith united in love, work, and sacrifice for all God's children that will keep that gate open. In fact, we need a bigger gate so that all who want to enter into this fold will find a place. And God willing, you and I will build this bigger gate and open it wide for the next generation, as those in generations past have done for us. This will be a new chapter for the Catholic community of Visalia. We are being called by our shepherd to unite through one gate, to be one family, to be one flock. Like the gift-bearing Magi, adoring one Lord, no matter where we come from. My brothers and sisters, let unity be the gift we bring.